It's time to put down the beer, pick up a glass of water instead, get the kiddies in front of the keyboard. I'm not going to move the camera over to the keys this time. I'm going to let you figure some of this out yourself, okay? So, my assumption is that you've played the piano a little bit, kids, adults who act like kids. Well, let's just go over a couple things that we don't want to forget about it. One thing is that to your left, this is my left, it's low. As you graduate to the right, it gets high. It gets back low again. There's no exception to that. It's laid out in what we call half steps. Now, the thing is, it's not terribly mathematical to look at because the black keys are in little pairs of threes and twos and threes and twos and threes and twos. It would appear sort of random. You would think, wow, maybe they should have the black keys between everything. And there's a reason they laid it out like that, and I want you to just put it up in your brain. Don't think about it for 15 years. It's called even temper. Don't even think about that. Even temper. Put it in there, and when you have hypnosis one day and you're going through all the terrible stuff that happened to you, and one of them was your parents made you watch this weird dude in his apartment, even temper comes out and you understand all of the chromaticism of the last 1,000 years. Okay, so then, remember when I had you do that? Makes noise. That's an important thing to remember about the piano. It's not just for playing perfect little things. I want you to make noise on it sometimes, okay? If you missed that lesson, put your hands together like your hands are in front of your face, like you're keeping someone from kicking a soccer ball at your nose, and then you're like that. Now, if you hold the pedal down, like I'm doing, you can't see that, it keeps going. That's the pedal that's all the way to your right. So push that pedal down, keep it down, hit that. It's going. It's going, it's going. I let my foot off the pedal and it stops, okay? That's an interesting thing to know. If you get really bored one day, not that you're going to get bored locked up inside, try hitting it right after you hit it, then press the pedal. This is going to be, I'll show you where I'm pressing the pedal. Right after it. Keep practicing that. Before you pick it up, but after you hit it, okay? You could do this all day. I'm serious. I mean, your parents would kill me and you, but go. What I'm doing is hit, press, up. Hit, press, up. Hit, press, up. This is going to come in handy. Now, remember I showed you the devil signs, and this is the sign that old people used to make when they went to rock out. Something that mostly white men did on stage, drunk. People would stand in the audience and do this. Don't worry about that. But this is a sign they made, and it's really useful for us. Do you remember I told you middle C? Middle C. I want you to find middle C right now with your finger, okay? All you have to do. You can't see it upside down. You can't cheat. All you can do is find C. Every time you hit a note, dig how cool it is. Dig and cool are words that used to be used by old fat white men as they rocked on stage in the last century. Dig that cool. Just hold it down. There's something so amazing to me about the tone of a piano. When you let the finger up, you're adding to the note. You're defining the length of the note. That's so important. You can just veg out. Doing it all different, loud, soft. Just use your finger. You don't have to have good technique for this. Just do that. Now, use the pedal. Push the pedal down first and play the note and let it ring. Even if you play sonatas right now, I want you to do this. Even if you're playing Beethoven, go back to this just for a second. This will help your Beethoven because it's about tone of the piano, and it's about appreciating what's coming out of the piano and living every note inside it and out between the notes, okay? Kids, if that doesn't mean anything to you, what I want you to think about instead is just vegging out and pretend this is the greatest thing in the world. You're playing it on a stage and people are spellbound because they could be by this. Suppose there was a story with it. That's all you're doing. And everyone knows the story. I don't know, something really terrible, like your dog got run over. And the whole neighborhood knows that happened. And they gather around you at the piano, and you're getting ready to tell them that story. And you're just playing that note. Isn't that enough? That's actually enough. It's drawing me in, right? The reason it's drawing me in is because I'm actually paying attention to it. So I would like you to take 5 minutes and veg out with your pedal depressed, pushed down, and just that note. Are they all the same? Actually, they're not. I'm making every other one a little bit louder. Now, I'm going to have you play a little bit of a song that I wrote when I was kind of sad. I was a pretty good piano player. Could have done anything I wanted to on the piano probably, but I chose to do something very simple because it expressed something for me that was sad. Okay, I'm going to go back to the devil horns. Got it, kids? Know where middle C was? Middle C is where your forefinger, your pointer finger, the one that everyone wags at each other these days about the thing that they did wrong. There's the finger. Hold that down. Hold the pedal down. Now, devil sign. The pinky should land on F. Make it land on F. Parents, if the kids don't know where the F is or you don't know where the F is, count up. C, D, E, F. C, D, E, F. Easy. Write it on the damn key if you need to. It'll come off. Sharpie comes off. And that's it. I sat and played that when I wrote this song for probably hours because I was sad. And that was enough for me. It didn't have to be loads of notes. It didn't have to be anything else than that. And it's important to remember that when you're playing something simple and quiet, and that's your world, okay? I hope you don't find that boring. My challenge to you, kiddies, is to remember how much time there is in a day to be bored and just take out 5 minutes of it to do that. What can you do with it? You can go, you can do that and let the smoke clear. Next week we'll find some notes to go with it. And what I want to do next week with that is I want you to have gotten into that. Don't speed it up. I don't want you going speeding up. Keep it exactly where I showed you. Keep the pedal down. Think about the pedal pushing it down after the note if you want to, because that's the reason I showed you that is that's a pedal technique that works really well. Just push it down after. Okay, so when I wrote that song, what we can do, we can back up to this next week, is I just played around with different notes in the bass, and that changed the entire chord. All it took was the devil sign and one finger in the left hand, and it's a song on an album. It's out there. It's called Evaporated, but you can play. And you could make up your own song to it. I won't mind. I won't law you up against your children. You can take that song. Just make up your own notes in the left hand. All kinds, so simple, just one note. So, but this week all we're going to do is we're just going to get you vegging out on that. Stop time with that, okay? And then once we get through this little period, we'll go back to some rock and roll. But remember, at any time you want to, you can do that. Okay, that's my lesson for you. If nothing else, you learned where middle C was enough, or you learned, we don't know why people used to do this, and we don't really want to know. But now it's useful for us. So you've learned that. A little history, I taught you history, and you've got that fourth that you're playing. Take my word for it. Why is it a perfect fourth? Do you know the answer? Have I trained you? Because Ben said so. Because Uncle Ben said so. That's why. It's a perfect fourth. You remember that. Here we go. Okay, yes, I'll do that. I saw some scroll. Going back to scrollable music. This is